December, everybody. Brock, you got the sunshine beaming in your place too. I see. I know I have all of the doors closed, like all of the blinds down, because it's like a big ray of sunshine, which I am thankful for because Latrice, I don't know if it's been super cloudy over in Orlando, but it's been super cloudy here on the coast. And y'all, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I cannot live in Seattle. I could not live anywhere in Washington State. I could not live in New York. I could not live in Alaska. I am solar powered, okay? So that's part of my confidence, knowing exactly where I can and cannot live. Can I get an amen on that? You have to know what you can and cannot put up with. And this girl cannot put up with cloudiness for too long. We had like 2.5, 3 days of it. And then so windy as well. And I was like, oh my goodness, it messes up your hair. It messes up everything. And so anyway, here we are. But so over the weekend, we actually did a staycation in a cute little town near us called Indy Atlantic. And one day we were walking on the beach and I'm sitting there and I'm remembering there was a time in my life where I would get up every single morning and I would be at the beach at 7 a.m. and I would walk on the beach for 1 hour just to ground myself, just to clear my head and to really like set myself up for a great day. And at that time in my life, it was really like the only thing that kind of cleared me. Because this time in my life, I was in the salon world, and when you're in the salon world, you're not there for yourself. Your clients could give two flying flips about anything that's really going on in your life, and that's the way that it should be. We show up in professionalism, we show up in grace, and we show up in making you beautiful, and we love every single second of it. But as we were walking on the beach this weekend, I remembered a thought that I had how many of you have ever walked on the beach and you like walk right on the water line? Where the waves come up and then you have the sand, and depending on whether it's high tide or low tide, and you have loose sand and then you have hard sand, and then when you're trying to walk on it, some spots will give you blisters, if you go too long, especially if you're not used to the friction, and if it's really uneven, then you really have to like even your body out and find the part that works for you, or otherwise you're going to end up in the chiropractor's office no matter how good the walking on the beach is for you. And so I remember thinking, like way back in the day, isn't grace and isn't each day a whole lot like the waves crashing on the shore? Because before a wave arrives, that sand has a pattern to it. It has some holes, it has some imperfections, it has some maybe some creatures. But every time a new little wave crashes over it, whenever that wave goes back, that sand right underneath it is immediately smooth and it's glistening and it's glowing. And as I was walking on the beach this weekend, I thought, confidence is a lot like that. It really is a wave. And that is one of the things that I learned about confidence this year. My word as I went through this year was impact. I wanted to create as much impact as possible. I wanted people to believe in themselves and the calling that is placed on their life, maybe for the first time, maybe for the second time, maybe for the 1000th time. But I wanted to be able to impart a little bit of impact and a boost of confidence and confidence in everyone's life that I came across this year. And so I wanted to really learn because I love studying. If you know me, you know that I love science and I love studying things like on a molecular level. I want to understand how everything interacts. And so as I was walking, and I'm like, confidence is just like these waves right here. Like it crashes over you. We feel like we're on a high. And when we make a decision to do something, we're on a high. We're like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But then sometimes reality sets in. Not sometime, actually, all the time. Reality sets in. And when reality sets in, maybe we tell somebody about our big idea. And then they say, well, how are you going to do that? And then we get a little ripple and our little brand new shiny little sand that was there, we get a little ripple because we're like, "Ooh, well, how am I going to do that?" And your brain begins thinking, "Oh no, this is change. Let's shut this down." But one thing I want you to carry with you into 2026 is that confidence is a wave and it is a muscle, okay? Confidence is a wave and confidence is a muscle. That wave is going to continually crash over you. You're going to have highs and you're going to have lows. It is your job to figure out what boosts your muscle so that you can get another wave of confidence that goes over you. Because how many of us have ever gone to the gym and you've committed to 1 month at the gym and you've actually done 1 month? Maybe you've done 6 months. Maybe you've done 12 months. Maybe you've actually made a physical fitness aspect an actual part of your entire lifestyle. That's how confidence needs to be. It's not a one-time membership. It's not a one-time I'm going to do the thing. It is a daily commitment. That's why confidology is called the study and daily practice of confidence. Because you can't just feel confident one time, make a decision, and then everything falls into place. And everything is unicorns, rainbows, butterflies. We're flying off into Neverland. That just doesn't happen, as we know. Life be lifing, okay? And as life be lifing, the second thing that I want you to write down about confidence is that confidence requires honesty, okay? Confidence requires honesty. It requires you to be honest with yourself, and it requires you to be honest with others. And honesty with yourself looks a lot like, what do I actually love doing in the mornings? Like, so for me, I'm a lot like Kendra Cook in this. I like to wake up before my alarm. But I also know that if I don't wake up before my alarm, I always set my alarm 15 minutes before it is I actually want to get up. Because for me, I do not like hearing an alarm and hitting my feet to the floor. For me, that feels like I'm back in corporate America, and I don't like that. I don't want to be back in that. So then that's part of my confidence. You have to know what works for you, and you have to be disciplined to set yourself up for success in that area. And Latrice knows this because whenever I wake up every morning, the first I go out the bedroom and I'm like, Shazam, I'm awake. Right? Shazam, I'm awake. And a lot of that is to boost my own mood. Okay, so confidence requires you to be honest with yourself and with others. And if you're not a morning person, if you're not an afternoon person, if you're doing things that just make you feel like, dear Lord, why do I keep doing this? You need to be honest with other people and say, listen, I'm going to teach you how to do this because this is too much on me. And they go back, what is too much? Yes, it is too much on me. I'm telling you, this is the you get 3 tries with me and then you're gonna do it. So when you want your peanut butter and jelly again, you can make it for yourself. It doesn't always have to be peanut butter and jelly. And I do realize there are some things that we can't train other people on, but you have to be honest with yourself and with others about what actually works and doesn't work for you. Because if you continue doing what everybody else expects you to do, and it makes you feel sad, broke, pulled too thin, overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, if it keeps you in that position too long, it will break you. It will break your confidence. It will break your path in life. Then you're going to be like Dorothy getting off of the yellow brick road. Okay. The third thing that I want you to know is that gaining confidence in your life, this is a big one, is going to create disenchantment. It's going to cause disenchantment in your relationships, especially. It's going to cause disenchantment with yourself as well, because you're going to feel like, oh man, why have I been doing this? And I want you to give yourself the permission slip that we all are doing the very best that we know how on any given day. Okay. You can't let the past dictate your future. If you didn't do it right in the past, let's get it together and do it right in the future. No stress. No worries. It's all good. We learned some lessons. The fourth thing that I want you to know about confidence that I learned this year, and it goes right in with number three, which is gaining confidence will create disenchantment. Number four is that your confidence requires you to take control of your actions. No more blaming, no more victim mode, no more I couldn't do this because they didn't do that. No more of that. Confidence requires you to take control of your actions. And so it's like, so what if they didn't do that? Are they the only person on the face of this earth that could actually do that for you? Answer is probably no. So then it's like having confidence to say, hey, so and so is behind on this. Is there any way that you can jump in and help me out? But we've clearly communicated with so and so that we needed this by this day and by this time, and they just not going to make the deadline. Okay. So your confidence requires you to take control of your actions. If you hate washing dishes, but you continue washing dishes every single night, that's on you. That's not on them. Take control of your actions. Number five, peaceful confidence requires you to alternate who and where you spend your time at. Because if you know you're wanting to go into 2026 and you're wanting to achieve more peace in any of the 8 areas of life, you are going to have to make some changes of who and where you hang out with. Okay. If you have that friend that is the Debbie Downer and she's always kind of like trauma dumping on you, you might need to push Debbie Downer to where she's maybe like a biannual meeting, maybe a girls' day with the weekend, and let's just get all the Debbie Downers together so that we can just knock them all out at one time because I'm all about leveraging some time because I like to take control of my actions, okay? But peaceful confidence requires you to alternate who and where you spend your time. You want to start spending your time with people and in places that lift you up. They push you into that growth mindset. They make you feel better about yourself and they make you believe in yourself. They don't tell you that your dreams are crazy. They ask you, how can they help you achieve them? That's the who and the what that I want you to really focus on as you go into 2026. Number six, is that calm confidence requires you to delete the roles that you allow people to play in your life. And when I say this, I am not telling anybody to just go gray rock method, no contact with people in your life. I am not saying that. I'm saying delete the roles that you allow them to play. If you allow them to be the master of your emotions, you need to delete that. You need to put your big girl or big boy panties on and you need to own your own emotions because as number four says, your confidence requires you to take control of your actions. So we have to begin distancing ourselves and we have to change the roles that we allow people to play in our lives, especially whenever they're not helping us get further in life. The seventh thing I learned about confidence over this past year is that keeping other people comfortable is not confidence. I did a reel about this on my Facebook and on my Instagram. That's not confidence, that is settling. And the good Lord above did not cause any of us to settle. He did not create any of us to settle into a mediocre life. He created us to live a life and to live it more abundantly. Abundance looks different for every single person. True confidence is about finding what is abundance for you and understanding that it may actually change and you may actually need to make some people uncomfortable by enforcing your boundaries. That's why it's super, super, super important. Like number two said, it requires honesty with yourself and honesty with others. Number eight is that continually doing things that break you emotionally, spiritually, or financially are crushing your confidence. So anything that continues to break you emotionally, spiritually, or financially. It crushes your confidence. And the big thing about that is when it crushes your confidence and you continue putting yourself in that situation because you don't take control of your actions and you're not honest with yourself and with others, you actually train your brain that you don't matter and your calling on your life is not as important as other people, that they're more important than you. You are training your brain that you don't matter. The ninth thing I learned about confidence this year is saying yes to things that drain your emotions, your relationships, your spirituality, or your finance also sends a signal to your brain that you're not worth more and you don't deserve more. So when you say yes to those little things you know that are going to cause disenchantment with your personal relationships in those areas of life, and I'm operating under the assumption that these are all healthy relationships, that they are not abusive relationships. If you are in any kind of abusive relationship, I tell you to run just as far as you can the other way after you get your plan in place. Okay. I am not a proponent of staying in abusive relationships at all, no matter what. So please do not think that I'm saying say yes if this causes discontent in your relationship. I'm not saying that. I'm talking like on a friendship level, or maybe you and your intimate partner may have something where, they may not like you drinking. Maybe because you become a different person when you drink. Continuing to say yes to the alcohol, that's something that's going to cause some problems, especially if it's a valid concern. The 10th thing I learned about confidence this year is that when you look at yourself in the mirror and you make your confidence statement, every single day you will boost your confidence. Okay. And the confidence statement looks a lot like, my name is Rebecca Black, and today I am creating confidence in my ability to do this thing. So, for the past few days, my confidence statement is, I am Rebecca Black, and I am creating confidence in my ability to be positive even though the sun is not shining. Okay? I might have had to repeat it 100 times, but those little things right there is where you begin to rewire the little neural pathways in your brain. It's something called neuroplasticity, okay? Because our brains have things that send all of these signals just like this, okay? And they get stuck in a pattern just like this. But whenever you throw something weird in there, they stop, they alternate, and then they begin doing a different one. They eventually go back to this, and that's why you have to continue to remind yourself. So I love a good daily confidence statement. Number 11 is that your confidence muscles, just like when you go to the gym and you're doing a new exercise, or maybe you're getting back in the gym after you haven't been there in a while. Maybe you're like Jada and you're doing like a 75 hard. Your confidence muscles are going to get sore sometimes. They are going to hurt, and you're going to be like, ooh, why am I doing this? But you're doing this because, as number 2 says, you've begun to be honest with yourself and with others, and you're taking control of your actions. And sometimes that don't always feel so good. Number 12 is, true confidence is accepting what has happened in the past exactly for what it is and accepting that the future will be better. So I'll say that again. True confidence is accepting that what has happened in the past for what it is and accepting that the future will be better. Number 13, confidence is the magic pill for comparison mode. Because when you look at somebody else and you say, oh, I wish I had the body of that person. Oh, I wish I had her hair. Oh, I love her Pinterest life. Like she has all of her stuff together. Girl, she don't have them all together. I've been around too many mamas that have kids and they are all, I've been around too many influencer mamas who show up on Instagram and Pinterest and everything is picture perfect. And it takes them 35 minutes. The kids are screaming. They're hungry. The mom is mad, but they look pretty on that picture. I've seen it in real life, y'all. The moment that you compare yourself to somebody else and you do not realize that they're only showing you the highlight reel, nobody's putting their low light reel out there. And if they do, they put it out there very, very, very rarely. Comparison is killed with confidence. Okay. So confidence is the magic pill for kicking comparison mode to the curb. Number 14, confidence is alignment with yourself, not a performance for others. How many of you alter the way that you show up in certain environments because you don't want anybody to think that you're too good or that you're into only name brand things? How many are you'll make yourself sound dumber because you don't want to seem like the smartest person in the room and you do this intentionally? Or am I the only person on here who's ever done this? I'm the only person who's ever done this. Yeah. Okay. But that's one of the things that I learned this year. Okay. Not a performance for others. Confidence is alignment with yourself, not a performance for others. Because I found myself, I did not want to dress a certain way. I began changing the way that I would interact with people. Also, that I was walking on eggshells, not to upset, not to offend, not to seem too much of one way. So, confidence is alignment with yourself. And so I had to stop doing all that stuff. Number 15, self-abandonment is the number one reason you have a hard time building confidence. And self-abandonment is that thing when someone says, "Hey, do you want to go and do this?" and you really don't want to go and do this, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. You say, "Yes." And we're not talking about if the grandkids are asking you to do something and you haven't seen them in a while. We're not talking about this. We're talking about some situation that you've been in recently where you're saying yes to something that you really wanted to say no to. And a lot of times these situations happen within our family relationships. Okay. And that's why a lot of people don't ever like talking about them. It's like we say yes to agree to hosting this big family dinner, especially around the holidays, when no part of us wants to host it. And that is self-abandonment. And I'm not saying that you just say to everybody, no, we're not hosting. You just say, you know what? I'd like to host somewhere else this year. That is honoring yourself. That is effectively communicating your boundary with that. Like I say, it doesn't mean that you're cutting people out and just mean like, this is my way or the highway. I've got my confidence, because that most definitely is not it. It requires you to give people the respect that they give you. But you have to stop abandoning yourself. Remember that no is a complete sentence. If you don't want to host, just be like, you know what, this year, man, just I'm really not into hosting this year. I really don't want to do Christmas at my house this year. Who do you think would want to do it? Make it a team effort to create those conversations. Number 16, and this is a big one too. Confidence looks different for every single person. I told you guys what I like to do in the morning. If I have to wake up by an alarm, I like to be up before the alarm. But if I don't, my alarm is actually set for 15 minutes before the time that I actually like to wake up, because I know that I like to lay in bed for like 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes, that's my little egg is cooked after 15 minutes. I just want to be up and get going. And then I get up and I say, Shazam, I'm awake. But maybe mornings, a confident morning for you is a quiet morning with coffee, and maybe you sit on your porch and you drink your coffee. Maybe you go take a walk and you listen to an audiobook. Maybe you turn on some music and you do some dancing. Whatever that rhythm is that looks like for you is perfect, because confidence looks different for everyone. Number 17 is that you are not born with confidence. It is your birthright, but you are not born with confidence. None of us are. None of us are. It is something that you have to build. And if you don't build it, The rest of the world will tell you what you should and should not feel good about. Okay? That is why confidence is so important. You are not born with confidence. No is a complete sentence, is number 18. And you must build your confidence. Confidence is a muscle, it's part of your daily life, which is number 1. Number 19, if you find yourself apologizing for having needs, you need to work on your confidence. That's a big one, and that is a deep one. But if you find yourself apologizing for having needs, you need to work on your confidence. A great example of that is a personal one for me. In the morning, I need quiet. I cannot have the news on. I don't want the TV on. I don't want social media on. I need quiet, and I am not sorry. I'm not going to apologize for that because confidence is communicating your needs. Stop apologizing, start tuning into yourself. Number 20, you will never be able to shrink enough to make everyone else comfortable. You will never be able to shrink enough to make other people comfortable. Because if their ceiling, as my mentor Tim Story says, if their ceiling is this high and your ceiling is this high, how long are you going to stay hunched over, hurting your back and causing yourself actual physical disfigurement to make them happy? How long are you going to stay there when you know that God called you up here? You can never shrink enough to make others comfortable. Number 21, the uppercase land of fine. I'm talking about like fine dining, fine living, fine vacations. They all look different for everybody. Your fine might look like going to Buffalo Wild Wings and having a bucket of beer and chicken wings with whatever sauce that you love on them. It might look like champagne and caviar. It might look like sweatpants, sweatshirt, and flip-flops. Whatever that is like your most ideal is that understand that the uppercase level of living in fine is different for everyone. Accept and respect every single person for right where they are. Number 22, confidence creates consistency. Confidence creates consistency because the more confident you become and you begin saying no to things that you don't want to do, you begin communicating your needs, you're honest with yourself and you're honest with others, you begin to create a more consistent rhythm in your life. Number 23, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing or live the life that everyone else is living. You don't. Remember how your mama used to say, if so and so is going to jump off a bridge, you're going to jump off with them? This is the very grown-up way of saying that. You do not have to do what everyone else is doing or live the life that everyone else is living. It is okay to do it your own way sometimes. Number 24, what works for others may not work for you, and building your confidence muscle will help you adjust your life around that. And number 25, to achieve your purpose in life, you must break the glass ceiling between your confidence and your calling. Because your confidence is on the 4th level of the hierarchy of needs. There's a man in psychology named Maslow. You may or may not know him. Confidence exists on that 4th level. Your purpose and your calling in life exists on the 5th level. In between each level, there's a glass ceiling called your brain. And your brain will try to talk you out of moving between levels because all your brain can think of whenever you're stepping into your confidence and you're communicating these boundaries is, what if I lose this relationship with someone? What if I lose my house? What if I lose my job? And that's why it's incredibly important to be honest with yourself about what it is that you need and what your calling in life is. Control, Alt, Delete. I'll be going into this in Nashville on the stage, the exact framework, how you can use it as a real estate professional and a person in business. But y'all, those are my 25 lessons in 2025 about confidence. It was an absolute blast. Tomorrow is Figure It Out Friday. If you have not already snagged your Nashville tickets, they are 25% off. We're going to put some links over in the chat. I think there are less than 20 tickets left. Is that correct, Brock?
Yes, I just I just had to order some more tables and chairs to fit some more for some more room because we got some really We got some teams now that are coming from the Nashville area, and so we're excited to have them come on board. So now we're working with teams all around that area. So just really excited to have that, and it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. But I gotta say something real quick, Rebecca.
Okay.
Damn, that was really good. That was really, I got people texting me over here. Can we get a copy of this? I sent you a record. I sent you a screenshot too, Rebecca. I was just like, hey, this is what people are saying while you're talking over here. This is what I'm getting. And yeah, I'm telling you, that was really good. The 25 confident. I'm gonna give you my two takeaways,
Ooh.
and then we're gonna close this thing down for everybody. And you better be guys, she's speaking in Nashville for crying out loud. So if you want to see her, you want to be around her, you want to talk to her like at break, you want to go have like sit with her at lunch. Like this is why you go to live events, all so you can pick her brain. And I've been blessed and fortunate to know Rebecca because that's what I did. I just went over there. She was the MC at this event in Charlotte. I just went up. I'm like, hey, we need to talk. You don't know me. I do know you because I saw you up there, but we got to talk. And it's been great with Rebecca. Two things. Confidence looks different for everyone. Stop comparing yourselves all and being like, look at it over there and look at the Joneses and look at the Smiths over there. It looks different for everyone. I don't know who said, I think it was Ramen who said it on Figured Out Friday. Everybody has a different jacket. Everybody needs a different jacket depending on the weather. Rebecca might show up in an Eskimo gear and somebody else might be coming in with the sweatshirt. It only suits to what you need it to be for you. I love that one. And the other one was the ceiling, the glass ceiling, because in my mind, God allows you to be able to see it and look at it. You just got to break through it. So he shares with you your gifts. You can see it, but we have limiting beliefs. That's why I feel it's glass, is because it's attainable. It's there. You just got to break through the glass. Loved your message, Rebecca. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you next month. I'll let you close this out.
Well, tomorrow is Figure It Out Friday, the same link, same channel. I don't know who is on tomorrow, but 8:15
Tomorrow's
a.m.
Justin.
Frank. Now we got Frank McKinney tomorrow. Our big man
Oh, I
Frank's
love
coming back.
Frank. I
Yes, he's gonna
love
be
Frank.
here. And I'm picking his
Oh,
brain. I'm picking his
yes.
brain all.
Yes. If you guys have any ideas for like writing books or anything like that, Frank is super, super amazing at that. I hope you
Oh,
join him
tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's
tomorrow.
Thursday.
Oh, tomorrow's Thursday. See, listen, this is just how my life is being. Tomorrow's Thursday. So Friday is Frank. Who's tomorrow?
Justine
Justin.
tomorrow.
Justine. Justine. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I thought you said
Joseph.
Justin at first. I'm like, Justin, I don't think Justin is, but I was like, I did think it was. I was like, damn, it's already Friday. I'm so far behind.
Yeah, that's
Woo!
listen, and clearly I am so far ahead going a million miles a minute, but I digress. Listen, we will see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:15 with Justine Derby laying it down for lessons in real estate and Friday morning with Mr. Frank McKinney. Thank you all. Hit me up if you want my teaching notes or anything like that. I'd be more than happy to send you my list of 25 things. There's some hearts coming your way. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Bye.
Rebecca's info is in the chat all. So go take a look at that just to let you know too.
All right.
See ya.